All right, folks, we're back for another run at it here. I may be just watching for a while though, because while I was gone, man, looks like we got a big shoot up into 64.2, and then just like crash, rise, and then another major crash. So I can barely keep up with the order book here. It keeps going off the screen because it's fallen so much and rising so much. So, I think these are good conditions for getting in at a low price early, like in the first couple minutes. Trying to get in the 30s, one of the sides, and just giving it 12, 13 minutes to, at one point, get back to break even. So we'll see if we want to do that. I'm going to watch this for a little while. Um, Since there's nobody here yet, this is mostly for people who are watching it in the future. Um, I'm going to put it back on music mode and trading mode. And when people show up and ask questions, I will come back in and talk about it. Hey, Alpha or Alpha BS. So I have no idea right now. Probably up, but if you had asked me 3 minutes ago, I would have said down. So the market is super unstable at the moment. It's kind of flying all over the place. So I'm just watching right now and kind of waiting for things to kind of calm down a little bit. This is a little bit too chaotic for my taste. We got the price moving around so fast and switching sides multiple times. So anyway, I'm probably not in on this one. My strategy in general is to wait until I'm pretty sure, 90% sure, and then just try to scalp 10, 15, 5, whatever's available. But I wait until it's kind of a sure thing. I would say this market right now is pretty far from a sure thing. I've seen it kind of jump all over the place, and it's fallen pretty fast right now. So that 90% is not 90% probability right now. It may be there in another minute, but there's not enough value there for me to get in on it. Given that it's rising now, it's probably safe, but yeah, these conditions are not really good for my strategy. So what we may try is on the next one, getting in on up right away if we can get it under 50 cents. So that's kind of the strategy for me on the next one. The chart says up is likely, especially after this long downturn on the next one. So I'm looking at up for the next one, but only if I can get it really cheap. Otherwise, I'll hold until I'd go up on the next one. So if anybody has any questions, just let me know. If there's nobody asking questions, you're new to Kalshi. Okay. Yeah, I've been doing this for about 6 months. Tried a bunch of different things. I tend to come back to this market in particular, kind of my favorite. And I've kind of learned. Next one, I will put $10 next for up. All right, if you're a gambling guy, don't blame me if it doesn't turn out that way. But the indications are a slight possibility of up, but I may do that as well at a much smaller level. This is not something I'm really confident in, so I may try to get in the 30s if it goes down enough. But yeah, I wish you luck. I hope it works out well for you. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'm going to send it back to the music and go back to trading mode until I get a question. So. Well, that was absolutely brutal. I apologize to I think he's gone by now, but Alpha BS. I'm sorry about that. That's why I don't generally do that. Get in at the beginning with a guess. Yeah, all indications are that this should bounce back at any moment, but it's been on a slide for a couple hours now. So I suppose until it proves otherwise, we're going to be thinking down. Yeah. Now keep in mind at the most violent fluctuations I've ever seen, I've seen it gone down 500. This is within the same 15-minute window. Go down 500, back up 600. So just because it goes down 100 right now or up 100 or whatever means very little, because this market is moving like madness. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not. This is not my conditions for my trading style at all. So we'll see. I'm definitely open. If anybody shows up and wants to share a strategy for when the market is like this. My current strategy is to buy low on the opposite side, or it would be I'm buying low on yes because I'm expecting a reversal, but I'm not so sure about the reversal. It's just we've got a Sunday night minor crash going on, so we shall see. If anybody shows up and wants to share a strategy they have for these kinds of markets, I'll be all ears, because my strategy, I mean, it works in these markets, but it's not ideal. So anyway, I guess we'll go back to the music. But yeah, if you want to give this thing a like, this stream a like, and hit some emojis, and that might help get a few more people here, and maybe we can learn some new strategies tonight. So for those of you just joining the live, I find this current market to be diabolical. So I'm in no hurry to be making a mistake with this one. There's going to be a lot of observing and watching and seeing what happens, and waiting until I'm like 95% sure about something. So I may be just getting like in at 94 and trying to get out at 99. But yeah, this is a lot of volatility. So we'll see what happens. It can change, as soon as people start going to sleep. It's midnight now on the East Coast. So as soon as it starts getting more into the evening hours, it might slow down and be a little bit more manageable. But for now, I'm doing a lot of observing. John Doe. Yeah, I'm pretty much doing 5-cent profits. 5 cent, and then I'll increase the number of shares if I'm more confident. But as of right now, I'm not trying to get in too early on these markets. So, but anyway, if you guys have any questions, hey Legrand, how's it going? I'm gonna put it back on music, but if you guys have any questions, I'll come back and chat, or if you want to chat about anything. But yeah, I'm gonna go back into observing mode, and it's a diabolical market right now. It was great over the weekend. I made quite a bit of money over the weekend, but I'm really cautious at the moment. It's kind of chaos. So back to the music. Well, that last one was rough. Once it went against me and I couldn't get my stop loss, then I was just like, well, I'm not going to even do a take profit. I'm just going to hold to the end. And, well, at least that one worked in my favor, but that was pretty rough. This market is brutal right now. So I'm just being, I don't know, cautious, watching the boards, seeing if there's any opportunity. If I feel like, especially if I feel like a low number, like down at 18, has a good chance of bouncing back in 9 minutes, I might try that. But otherwise, I'm probably holding until 94 and trying to get 94 to 99. And that's going to be about the extent of what I try to do here right now, at least until this quiets down. My normal strategy is really does well in more quiet environments, more quiet situations. So anyway, I'm keeping an eye on things and just kind of having my beverage and smoking a cigarette and relaxing. And yeah, if you want to chat or talk about anything or discuss strategies or anything like that, if you have any questions or anything like that, this live would be a great one to have a lot of discussion because for me, I'm not going to be probably investing a ton here. I'm going to be watching and waiting for the right time for me. So it's a great time if you have questions or you want to chat about whatever, go for it. And if you want to hit the like or hit those emojis and send some love my way, I'd appreciate it. Let's see if we can get up to, on this afternoon's session, we got up to 13 people at one time. So we're at 6 right now. Let's see if we can get to 15 at some point tonight. And that'll happen with you hitting likes and subscribing and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, if you have any questions or you have a strategy you want to talk about, that's what this live is for, is discussing strategies and trading. So until we get some discussion going, I'll keep the music playing. I'll come back as soon as I see a question or something to interact with. All right, let's talk about liquidity. What questions do you have about liquidity? And we can talk about liquidity on the Bitcoin market and liquidity on the Kalshi market as well, because they're two kind of, they're different things. They're the same thing, but they mean different for what we're doing here. So yeah, liquidity basically is how much cash is in the system at one time. And the good thing about the reason I choose liquidity sweep in charts. That's basically what's happening right now. People selling in mass and grabbing liquidity. And I've been expecting a bounce back for a while. Basically, a liquidity grab is, here's been the kind of the low all day is right around here. And when you see it drop down below that, it means investors are grabbing liquidity, they're cashing out their assets, they're selling. And following this, we get the price way down, and then we get people buying back in. So I've been expecting a bounce back for a while. We've been on the lower end of the Bollinger Band for 5 hours. And we kind of got off it here for a little while, up and down. But, this liquidity grab is pretty significant. And so it has me kind of like just holding and waiting to see what happens. Let's see, 800 versus a spread of 29 in 2 minutes. I don't think so, because this can reverse in a second. And one rule I have, based on my first 6 months of doing this, is we've been in a bear market for that whole 6 months. Bitcoin has been, all crypto has been down for the last 6 months. And so I have learned, don't trust yes, especially in a market like this where it's been going down pretty steadily all day, but especially in the last couple hours. Don't trust yes. That's just kind of a general rule. I'm much more trusting of down than up. But anyway, I wouldn't say I'm an expert on liquidity sweeps, but I know that this is what we're seeing right now, is that investors are cashing out. That may be an end of the week thing, getting ready for the next week and having assets in hand, having cash, liquidity in hand to make investments tomorrow morning. That's a trend I want to keep an eye on. I've had Sunday nights go down like this before. I've noticed that. And I was thinking today, I wonder if that's a pattern. I wonder if it's something I'm going to be aware of in the future, is like Sunday afternoon, evening, are people getting more liquid so they're ready to go for Monday morning for the, whatever pops up as a possibility. That may be a worthwhile thing to pay attention to in the future. It just occurred to me earlier today, and it's something to watch out for. All right, let's see here. Great, sir. Thank you. What are those lines in chart? How to set up? So I'm on CoinMarketCap, but I'm using CoinMarketCap uses trading view, so chart by trading view. I've only got one indicator on, and that is what's called Bollinger Bands. So basically gives you an idea. These Bollinger Bands tell you okay, this edge right here is where the market wants to kind of kick it back this way, This edge up here is where the market wants to kick it back this way. So it just gives me a general idea, but, it's been really fairly unhelpful in the last few hours because it just keeps dropping right on the edge of this line all the way down. But this indicator generally suggests that right now up would be favored in general. We're kind of overdue for a bounce back, but just keeping this kind of theory in mind about Sunday evenings and people grabbing their liquidity so they can be ready for an opportunity that shows up Monday morning when, I don't know, Wall Street opens and there's some chaos or some news and everybody reacts to that and tries to buy something and get an opportunity. That may be what's happening on Sunday night. So it's not something I have in stone, but it's something I'm starting to wonder about. So, like support and resistance. Yeah, I mean, basically. Kind of. I would say resistance and resistance. It's just resistance on both ends of the spectrum. So this shows you the upper resistance. This shows you the lower resistance. Support would be a little bit different because it can drop down in the middle of this and find some support right here and bounce back within this kind of realm. This more gives you the resistance on both ends. And one thing I just can't stand about Kalshi on the website is that I have to keep refreshing to get the strike point for this market, but oh well. So I'm looking at this market. In general, I favor up, but I'm very distrusting of up at the moment because we're just on this kind of, a few hours ago we were at 64,000, and now we're down to 62.8. So we've been on a downslide that may continue. I'm more looking for some 94 to 99, I think is all I'm going to do right now, is wait for it to get to 93 maybe, get in at 94, sell at 99 or 99.9. So, but I'm going to try and do that late in the market. Like right now, the market is saying this has an 87% probability of finishing down. Based on what I've seen in the last few hours, I don't think that's true. I think we're more like 70 right now. So 11 minutes is a long time. Even at $122 or 25 or whatever it is now. No lead is safe with this market. So I'm waiting. I may not invest. That's why they say, I think gambling is exciting, trading is boring as hell. Like, gambling is exciting and it's also gut wrenching and can be just a devastating experience. So I've learned to be more patient and more selective, and every loss I've learned something from, and maybe have to relearn something and maybe do it again and 20, 50 times, whatever. The big one for me is making sure I don't that I take a stop loss if the trade goes against me. That is the thing I'm working on the hardest right now. And if you stick with me for a while and you watch, you'll see kind of how I go about doing that. Because you can't do a stop loss on Kalshi with predictive markets. So you have to kind of set it up yourself to execute it. But so we're at 94 now. it's probably going to be fine with a $164 margin. But we've already moved $164 in, 6 minutes, and we've got 9 left. So I'm not really interested at this moment, and we'll see what happens. But there may be a lot of that tonight because it's just, it's just not appealing to me. I may, as it starts to slow down, there's a moment when it transitions that you can get some really good deals because everybody's still thinking it's moving super fast and it's really slowed down a lot. But we're not there right now. We're moving like crazy still. So anyway, if you have any more questions, just let me know. I'm glad I was able to explain some of that for you. And again, I'm not a financial expert. I learn something every day. Just trying to figure this all out and make a little money. I'm not even trying to be greedy. I'm just trying to do better than my savings account. And yeah. But anyway, I'm going to go back to the music. If you have any questions or you want to discuss anything, is that indicator's lagging and name of it? I don't really understand the question. The indicator that I'm using is Bollinger Bands. And it's showing you basically 15-minute increments throughout the day. So every candle is a 15-minute period. So is it lagging? It's more of a snapshot of the whole day than in the moment thing. If we wanted in the moment, we'd have to do like 1 minute or 30 seconds or 15 seconds but these candles, each one of these candles is 15 minutes on the chart. So it's not necessarily lagging. It's just, it's giving you a bigger picture of the whole thing along with the indicator. All right. If anybody's got any more questions, just let me know. I'll come back, turn off the music and come back if we get some conversation going. But otherwise, I'm going to focus on some trading. And I'll be here for many hours tonight. So thanks for chilling with me. If you want to give this thing a like and hit some emojis or, subscribe, anything like that, that's appreciated. And if you really want to get in support mode, I'm 7 streams as a recording artist. If you want to listen to my music, that would be wonderful. Doesn't cost you anything, but if you want to be supporting me, you can just do it by listening to my music. 7 streams on all platforms. It's SEVENSTREAMS. Have I been successful doing this? I'm going to say at this moment, no. I feel like I have gone to school for the first 5 or 6 months of doing this. I've learned some hard lessons. And paid for it dearly. So overall, I'm down 1,000 after 6 months, but I've just got I believe I'll get back to break even, but it may take me a while to get there. I'm in no rush to make mistakes to get back. To explain order flow chart. Okay. And basically I have people asking to be on my inner circle and on Kalshi. And I said, I won't approve those until I at least get back to break even. And when I get back to break even, then, then I feel like, okay, I'm at least worth copying, but until then, I'm not going to do that to anybody. I do think my strategy is worth exploring, but I'm not, I'm still working on it. Still trying to figure it out. I have definitely learned a lot of lessons in 6 months. So, explain the order flow chart. All right. Well, first of all, I've got it on the wrong ones. I don't want to look at Binance. I want to look at Coinbase. This price here on Coinbase, because Coinbase has an API, so the bots can communicate in real time with Coinbase. You can't do that with Binance. So because Coinbase has an API that the bots can interact with, you'll see the price on Kalshi react to Coinbase the most. So this is the number I'm watching. That's 62,652 is the number that this is the number I'm focused on. All of these are the amounts of bids that are on the board. These are asks, and these are bids down here. And then people are coming in and buying in this area right here. Now, you see we got a yellow sign right there. That's kind of like a blockade. It would take a massive whale, and it'll change. These change dramatically, especially right now. But anytime you get a yellow in a quiet market, this is kind of like a point of resistance right here. The price is going to want to bounce back off of this because there's so much demand. There's so much on the board at this that it would be hard to eat through all of these orders. So kind of consider the bigger this blockade is, and you can see how much more activity there is on Kraken than there is on Coinbase. But that's why the price reacts. It reacts to this number right here on Coinbase. Anyway, when you see a big blockade like these, that's a point of resistance. The price is going to want to bounce off of that because whoever's buying would have to eat through like 26,700 to move it to the next level. So it just means that there's a lot of orders on the board at a certain point, and that will tend to be a point of resistance that the price will bounce off of. So, for example, if we're in a market where the price is to beat is 62,830, we're so far away it's probably not even on the board. But anyway, let's say the strike price right now were to be 62,610 or 62,620, and you're above it. Well, if the number's above it and you see this big blockade right here, it's going to be hard for the price to go below this. But just keep in mind that this all changes. You can see it right now. It all changes dramatically in real time. But just know that when you get this yellow caution light, that's kind of a blockade to it going, unless somebody comes in and buys, 500,000 whatever shares here, So anyway, hope that helps. And yeah. All right, I'm gonna go back to music and focus on the trading. I've been saying this for a while, but an up is coming. I don't know when it's going to be, but it's coming. So yeah, I don't use that chart for real-time price information. I've got that on multiple other. I've got that right over here, following the Coinbase exchange. So this is current pricing right here. That's what we're watching, because that has the most direct impact on these numbers right here. This is to give me an idea about the overall trajectory of things, and I'm just looking at. I've got Bollinger Bands because I'm trying to see when it crosses these blue lines or gets near them. The tendency is to want to bounce back. That has not happened at all. I mean, a little bit tonight, right there. But most of the night, it's just been a downtrend. So I don't use this chart for real-time pricing. I use this for real-time pricing right here. And then this is actually, because there's so many bots trading, and they're trading in milliseconds when this price changes on Coinbase. This is actually a pretty good indicator of, in general, where the market is. I don't think there's a lot of inefficiencies in this market. I think you just try to find some places to scalp some profits. But I don't think there's expected value in this market. So I hope that helps. I'm not using this chart, and it's not lagging because this is these are 15-minute candles. So this is basically probably most of the day. This is every one is a 15-minute candle. So this is kind of all day. And I'm just watching for the trend and where we're at compared to the Bollinger Bands. So that's what I use that chart for. Hope that helps. Thanks for the question. I appreciate it. And yeah, Legrand says go down 27. We can get in at 26. 705. I mean, it's not a bad risk to take. I think it's a good. If you're going to take a risk right now, getting in on down at 18 cents is a reasonable investment for sure. I mean, still 5 minutes to go, and I just have noticed in the last 15 minutes it's really quieted down. We're getting a little bit less activity, less violent movements in both directions. So we may be moving into the late night hours. It may be harder. It may be harder for that number, the underdog to win in these kind of conditions, which is why this is when my original strategy shines, is when it gets like this. So I'm kind of feeling up. I'm not thrilled about it. Yeah, the market has been crazy this afternoon. It was great this morning, or this early afternoon. But right about, I think this was probably right about here, right in here, it started getting squirrely, like this whole line right here, and then you had this craziness going on. So just something to keep in mind. And if you're around next Sunday, let's see if this repeats itself, because I have a theory that everybody's grabbing liquidity on Sunday night, so they're ready for Monday morning. They have their bankroll full to make new purchases on Monday morning when the week starts. So I've just noticed this has happened before on Sunday afternoon, and I'm curious if that is something that repeats. It's a great opportunity to make some money if that is what happens. So just keep that in mind for future Sundays. At this point, it's just the theory, but all right, I'm going to grab, not a lot, I'm just going to do 10. at 94 if I can get in. I might just do 95. No, I can get 94. Oh, I can get even better than that. All right, so this is my strat. This is how I do things as the price falls out of the sky. Yeah, just Anyway, I'm trying to set this for 99, but I better hurry up because I might need to do a stop loss quickly. See, it's too late. Oh, but then it bounced back just as fast. 681 right now. Since I got in at 95 and it's only 67, I really need to get out with my just 65 right now. So I'm taking that loss. We're not done with this market yet, but we may be. But I lost my edge. We were up at 95% probability. It disappeared in an instant. And then I'm happy with myself because that's what I need to do. I don't need to be holding a 95-cent position when it's only worth 70 cents anymore, So anyway, we'll see if we can grab something here at the end, but that down that Legrand was talking about looks like it might actually pay off here. How much time did it take to learn all of this? I got to tell you that I've gone all in on this stuff. Like I've programmed a couple bots. So that process, working with Claude and Cursor, I learned a lot through that, how these markets work and all that. But it's been 6 months I've been kind of doing this, maybe a little bit more. And yeah, you can learn a lot, but I've spent many hours kind of studying and watching videos on YouTube and learning, and so it takes some time, but in the end, of course, sometimes beginner's luck has its benefits as well. So, but yeah, 6 months. Yeah, that was rough, but good call on down. So we're gonna call Legrand 1-0 on the evening on making calls. So Legrand, you want to explain your strategy to the folks in the chat? How you go about making your picks? I think it has something to do with AI. But anyway, my strategy relies on me taking a stop loss in that situation. So instead of ending up at 0, I got 65 cents. So I lost 30 cents a share or 25 cents a share or something like that. But it's better than losing $9.50 total, or 95 cents a share. So when you get in at the kind of numbers I get in at, which is very high, not in the 90s, you got to be very, very disciplined with your stop loss, or else the numbers just don't work. So, and my cat is being skittish as hell tonight. Where I live, they love to shoot off fireworks, so all the animals just have a grand old time. Yo, went in too fast. It was at plus 40. Yo, went in too fast. It was at plus 40. I don't know what that sentence means, but sure. Oh, I see what you're saying. It was plus $40. I should have waited for more room. Yeah, and that's kind of also a. That's why I was like, can we trust how quiet it is? And not really. Still pretty chaotic and moving around. So I had to find out the $2.50 hard way, but at least it wasn't $125 hard way. So my general thing is, if I feel like it's quiet, which I thought it was, plus 40 is a lot. But it was just a very temporary break in the movement, and we can see that right now. In like 3 minutes, we're up 30 and moving pretty fast. So anyway, it's still chaotic, not my kind of market, and so a really good night for us to talk about strategies. I don't think Legrand really wants to type out his strategy, but yeah, if anybody else wants to share a strategy, or we could do a little take turns leading the pack and making guesses. You came in too fast. It was at plus 4. It was only slightly up. It could go down. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. In retrospect, you were correct, sir. I only came in at plus 40 because I thought the market was quieting down, but it was not. All right, I'm going to go back to music mode. If you guys want to chat or have a question, let me know. And yeah. So yeah, I definitely need a new strategy for conditions like this because I can't even get in at 90, 94, 95 because by the time I'm convinced, everybody's so convinced that yeah. So conditions like this just really are really tough for what I'm trying to do. So got to think about another strategy. The other strategy we could go to for something like this is buy the first side that goes to 30. If there is some, especially if it's down, if it starts out going down, because we're such on such a downtrend that there's so much pressure to want to go this way right now. I know it may not seem like it, but yeah, maybe there isn't. Maybe it's just going to go down all night. But that's the other strategy that could work. There's less risk involved, and more potential profit available if you're getting in at like 35 or something like that, 33. Let's just see how much. I mean, it kind of crossed the line twice, maybe just once or twice on this last market. We're not going to be able to see it there, but we are getting a lot of back and forth, pretty choppy action. So I may go with buy low, buy the side that goes low first. So I'm going to experiment with that a little bit. Not going to put too much money on the line, maybe just a couple contracts or something like that, and just see what happens here for a while. But my strategy is pretty much useless in these conditions. And yeah, the coin market cap is lagging. It's not updating. So gonna have to figure out something else for a chart, but I'm not gonna do that right now because it's getting late. I don't want to try to do something new right at the second. But all right, let's see what happens here. So maybe buy at the first reversal, so I know that it's not just going down the whole way. So the first reversal that we get, I'll get close to the lowest price possible, and the market will have at least showed us that there's a possibility that it'll come back. All right, there it was. So it could buy at 55 right now. We could have scalped at least 5 cents at this moment if we got in at 55. But yeah, I'm thinking about scalping in the middle now because we're tending to go back and forth so much. And I'm looking at down at 45 at the moment and thinking about it. Again, I'm going to see how long this moves in the up direction. It's dropping on Coinbase. Dropping pretty fast on Coinbase. It's back up. Yeah, and as long as it keeps going up on Coinbase, I'm out. I'm not going to do it now. So we'll hold, but we're getting a better and better price if we do go down. But we're 60 away now. Yeah, I don't know. This is tough. It's a little unpredictable at the moment. So I think maybe we'll just go back to Zen chill mode, listen to some music, and just waiting for the moment when it feels like it's the right time. I'm gonna go play with my cat for a little while because she's ready to attack at the moment. So away from keyboard. All right, if you could vote in the chat if you want to make a switch over and try the Sol crypto markets for a little while. Usually a little less volatile compared to Bitcoin. Or if you'd rather just stay at Bitcoin, just let me know. Vote in the chat, either BTC or SOL. Yo. He's voting for yo. He says stay on Bitcoin. Okay, we got one on stay on Bitcoin. All right, so we're voting in the chat right now if you want Bitcoin or Solana. Looks like we've got 2 votes to stay on Bitcoin. So for now, we'll stay on Bitcoin. My strategy is not really in play at the moment. It doesn't really work very well. So if anybody has a strategy for this kind of market where it's very up and down and volatile, big movements in price, moving fast, if you have a strategy, please share it in the comments. We'd love to try something different than I usually do, because my strategy is basically kind of useless at the moment. I'm probably better off just watching a movie or something. But let's see if we can get anybody to offer up an alternative strategy to scalping sure things, which is what I usually do. I usually get in at like 85 to 95 and just scalp some profits off the top. Works really good when it's quiet. It's not as, because I lose so much when I do that. When I lose, I try not to do it in risky settings. So if anybody wants to share an idea, the only one I have at the moment is, it would have worked great on this one, is buy the first side to go low. As maybe in this situation, I should have just done it at 55 when it went first up, but I'm trying to get in the 30s. So let's see if we can buy the low side at cheap. But we have to do, if we're going to do that, I want to do that in the first 2 or 3 minutes at the latest. So we got an up price at 42. This chart is useless. Might as well just close that sucker. I'll have to find another chart because that doesn't update very well. And Kalshi doesn't update very well. It's forcing me to do a lot of work right now. There we go. All right, we're just going to try this. We're going to go 5 at, it's going to end up giving me like 46.5 or something like that. Oh, 47.7. So I already lost 7 cents. And so what I'll do is I'll set it to sell. When I'm getting in this cheap, I'm going to set it to sell all the way, basically. 99.9 for now. So we got 13 minutes for this to do something really energetic in our direction, and then we don't have to worry about anything. In the meantime, I won't do a stop loss at 47 cents right away. I'll hold and wait and see what happens. But basically, later on, if it gets like, 30, 35, 30, that'd be much later in the market. But if it gets, maybe even 25, I'll get out. But yeah, this is the best thought I have for how to deal with this market and, get some potential wins. Now I only have to win every other one for this to work, for profits. And we'll see. I'll take, if I get a cushion and I'd say, well, I'm going to take profit. That's just a gut instinct. Need to update this, get it looking cleaner. $7.33. All right, chat. So let me know if what number do you think I should take profit at? We could do 5 cents, 10 cents, hold till the end. What would you do? There's an argument that could be made for any of those. All right, well, that was annoying. All right, so to kind of answer some questions here. How do you even read the tape surf on the right? Well, we're looking at, I'm focused on Coinbase primarily because I've noticed that that is mostly what the price on Kalshi reflects. So that's the current price that it's trading at, 62,702. Going to need a minor miracle to. This is kind of like the within. It's headed down within that range. So we got 10 ranges of $10 over here, and it's kind of moving down within that range. So all the indicators are down, 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 down. How to read it? If you have a yellow right here with all these, big blockade, like you got one right here, 33.4, 33,000 shares here. That's basically, if it stays there, these tend to be moved around by the bots that are trading. If it stays there, that's kind of like a point of resistance because it's hard to chew through all of those bids. So the thinner it is, the more it wants to move in that direction. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happened here. It just got thin on the low end and started moving down and didn't recover. So, yeah, these conditions are not my favorite, and I'm kind of getting hammered right now. So anyway, I thought about taking profit at like 87 there for a while, and I kind of wish I would have, but oh well. That's the way it goes. And then when I tried to get out, I didn't get in fast enough. So anyway, that was shitty. I hated that a lot. I don't know if that answers your questions about how to read this. People are coming in and taking what's in this range right here, and the thinner it is, the more it moves in that direction. The bigger the blockade, the more like it wants to bounce off of that, because there's so many to eat through in this range that it's hard to break through it. But these move around. This is like constantly moving and shifting, and the bots will move their orders around. So anyway, it's dynamic. If you have specific questions about anything in particular, mainly what I'm using this for is watching the price in real time on Coinbase in particular. What's the win rate of your trading strategy? I think that depends entirely on what's happening on the market. In these conditions, it's terrible. I kind of said that from the beginning tonight, and I wish I would have been a little bit more patient. When I'm doing a live, I feel a bit of pressure to do something. And so that's something I got to work on, because my strategy in these conditions is just struggles. So I had a really good weekend, really clawed back, and I've given quite a bit back. Not a lot, but I've given $10 back tonight, which is annoying. My win rate on my ideal market conditions is pretty high, but again, my strategy is buy high probability and scalp the end. So like buy at 90 and scalp the last 10 cents. And in a market where 90 holds pretty consistently, I do great. In a market where 90 doesn't mean anything, in a market where 90 is really more like 70 or 65, I can really get destroyed in that kind of setup. So go all in on up on the next one. Trust. Jesus Christ. All in on the next one. Wow. I don't think I'm going to do that. But we'll see. Chat can give me a hard time if I should have in the end. But yeah, that's like the devil talking in my ear right now. You saying that? Trust. I put it on. Trust. I put it on Donald Trump. I put it on Donald Trump. What does that mean? You put your trust in Donald Trump? Is that what you're saying? Trust. I put it on Donald Trump. Okay, I don't know how to read that statement. Then sorry. It's like saying on God. So you're comparing Donald Trump to God? I'm confused. Okay. Anyway, you think I should go up? All in. It's not really my strategy or how I do anything, but maybe it would have worked. Let's see. I could get in right now at 46 by oh basically 200 contracts. I could buy 200 contracts at 46 for up right now. On my mama. Yeah, right. But on Donald Trump is like putting Donald Trump in a place that like he's worth putting any trust in. Fuck that dude. Oh, here we go. Go all in on up. Trust me. Dude, why would I trust you? I have no idea who you are. Based on nothingness, I would trust you. That's not how I operate. Maybe you're going to be right, but it doesn't change. Like that's not how I operate. So, if you gave me a legitimate reason of, well, I've looked at this and you have a strategy behind that, then I might listen to you. Give me your strategy, but just trust me. Put all your money in that you got in your portfolio on this coin flip. Exactly. Because I'm him. You're God or you're Trump? This conversation is getting more interesting by the minute. I'm him. Who's him? You're the seer. You can see the future. You know what's going to happen. I mean, you're making the stream a lot more interesting with this conversation. I don't know where it's going, but it's getting interesting to me. I'm now. You're that guy. You're just that guy. All right. Cool, man. But yeah, you're the hero everyone is looking for. God damn it. We need you, man. Where you been? We've been waiting for a hero to show up. Bros. Bros. Not him. Yeah. Well, I'll make it a legitimate possibility that if you are the guy, if this finishes up, I'll be interested in more of what you have to say on the next one. But I don't know, man. Seems like completely against all of my strategy to do what you're suggesting. So I don't know why I would do it. Oh, he is him. Bro's not him. I is him. I don't know, man. Looking rough at the moment. But it's only down $8 and oh, it's rising. Oh, there it goes. Oh, he is him. Oh no. Source. Trust me, bro. Well, all right, you're 1-0. You're 1-0. It's looking pretty good for you right now. Well, we may have the chosen one among us. Let's see. See if we can hold on here. See? 50-50 chance. I got it right. All right. Well, let's see if we can do it again. Tell me when, you see the future and on the next one. Tell me where we're at. I'm definitely not going to go all in, but I think it's going to be entertaining to see how long you can go getting it right. Now it does become more entertaining for me, I tell you that much. We've got the chosen one in the chat. It's about to take us to the promised land. Get ready, bro. We going to the promised land. All right. Got 2.5 minutes. Can you hold on? Bro, I made up a new strategy this morning and I got 8 out of 10 bets right. All right. That's cool. With my luck, I would have gotten the 1 out of the 10 for all in. So All right, you pick the next one. Oh, I'm really curious now. With I still don't. Honestly, I still don't understand the on Trump. Like almost like swearing an oath on the Bible on Trump. Like I don't know. That's pretty creepy to me. Super creepy. Oh, but yeah, if you want to share your strategy, that's what this live is all about. If you have a strategy you made up this morning and you want to tell us about it, that'd be great. But just telling me to go yes all in on something, I'm probably not going to do that. But I will be putting. We're going to start out with one contract on whatever you say next time. Because what the hell? Let's do it. Let's see if you can get 10 in a row. Yeah, go ahead and share it. Don't be shy. It's like everybody gets real shy about sharing their strategy, but I don't know. The chosen one might be willing to share his strategy, so we'll see. All right. Well, you're 1-0, chosen one. Let's see it. Let's see if you can keep it going. I need to improve it. There's much more I gotta understand, but it's looking good and working well so far. Okay. I told you to go all in. Yes, you did. Yep. You would have been right. I'd have $200 in my portfolio at the moment. You absolutely. I'm not going to lie about that. That's absolutely correct. On Trump. Oh man. All right, that's the wrong one. You would have doubled your money. Yep. Yeah, I just said that. All right, Nostradamus, tell us what's coming next. We're all waiting with bated breath to hear what your pick is, the chosen one. Okay. All right. Fine. I thought it just came from you from above. I thought like you just got hit with, you know, inspiration from the great beyond, that someone just like anointed you as the chosen one and said, "You will know right when the market opens." But no, there's something more to it. Okay. But that is how we roll. If somebody, I mean, we should have the chosen one explain his strategy before we start using it, because that's the whole point, is to learn new strategies, not just follow some guy who says he knows what he's talking about. But whatever. I can't seem to get anybody to do what we're supposed to be doing on this. So, He's consulting the oracle right now. There's an old woman in his backyard that's looking at a crystal ball. He goes and talks to her for a while. She gives him sage wisdom. Instead of the meaning of life, she just says, go down at 46 cents. Bet down. All right, fine. I'm not even going to worry about it. Just we'll go 1 to start. We'll double it every time. All right, 1 to start. I'm not going to do any take profit or anything like that. Bet I'm all in on down. No, dude, I'm not going. I'm not going all in on down. I will go every time you get it right. I'll double the next time. But I'm not going all in on down, dude. Oh, we'll keep track. We'll keep track though. How much I would have been up if I had gone all in. I'd have 100 and well, let's see. I have 200 in my account. We're just going to keep going with like the hypothetical of if I had kept following your advice. So I'd be up 200. I'd have 200. I'd be all in on 69. So I'd have 300 contracts. 300 contracts. All right. So I got 300 contracts right now on down. If I'm following the chosen one. Are you going to share your strategy with us, or just tell us what to do? Oh, okay. All right. All right. Well, I'm going to put on the music. I'll be back after this. After this is done. All right, so yeah, that's why we need the strategy and not just your Nostradamus stuff. Because when you say I would have taken profit by now, that was too late for me to do that. So. All right, so yeah, that's why we need the strategy. Anyway, so I guess we can call that a win for you, but not really. Because if I know the strategy ahead of time, like I know when to take profit and all that. So anyway, good try, chosen one. Honestly, based on what you told me to start the thing, I'd be at 0 right now. So we're gonna pass on the chosen one. You're the guy thing at the moment. Although I am keeping in mind that you did say that you would have taken profit at the end. That's legitimate. That's reasonable. But that's why this live is about sharing strategies, not just your picks. So it doesn't really do much good. It's the difference between teaching somebody to fish or giving them a fish. We're trying to teach people how to fish, not just give people fishes. But anyway, that was cool. That was fun. I appreciate you stepping forward and having an opinion about things. But that's going to be it for me tonight. It was just kind of a rough one for me, so I think we're going to call it quits and do it again tomorrow. Hope you have a great night. Good luck on the trades. I hope the chosen one gets so wealthy that he can sponsor all of us in living a better life. So, all right, y'all.